Here we are. It's the next day after last night. So, with what little strength I have, I am going to test this thing. Matter of fact, it's been testing for a while, and I believe it's okay. I hooked up the heater core hoses. This hose, I'm testing everything this time before we go in too deep. So, she's been holding right about there for a while. So let's just see. Now that bolt there was a problem. Not anymore. Right there was a problem. Not anymore. And I'm probably going to get a squeaky belt out of that going down there. So let's just let this hang for a while. Looks like it's okay. Let's pull a vacuum on it. Just like an air conditioner, pull a vacuum on it. You'll never find where I hid your keys. Alright, so this is a crazy apparatus for those of you who haven't seen it before. This is the vacuum device, but you have to use air pressure to run through the venturi to cause the vacuum to happen, and then there's a little gauge here. You can go up to 30 pounds negatory on that thing, and we ain't going to be doing that. Why is it 30 pounds on mercury? It's because that's all that's available on this planet. Unless you have some super lab of some kind. Alright, so what'll probably happen here, I've done this enough times, will be this hose here will collapse, and that's okay. I mean, usually when it's under pressure, of course, it'll do this instead of that. So this has all the air pressure we need. You basically just have this thing. This is just a vent tube. This doesn't really do anything. But in case you want to do it, you can open this valve here and put this down in your coolant buckets, and you can charge your system that way, and then that way you don't have to find wherever your bleeder valves are. They weren't even thinking about bleeder valves in these days. So what I'll probably do when I do this thing is I'll move those down there and help alleviate any air bubbles. You can get the air bubbles out of this by squeezing it. The big hose right there. So let's get her to, let's say 10 pounds negatory. So okay, noise alert. It's going to be a little windy here, and I don't know if you can see that gauge. That ain't helping any, is it? I don't know if it's going to foci. Okay, so when I open this valve, you'll see this gauge move, and 10 pounds is about right here. There it goes. Don't go there, that hose is flapping. We'll take her right there. Okay, that's 10 pounds vacuum. So little bit more than that. So I think if it was going to fail, it would be failing now. So that is the whole system completely vacuumed. It's not moving. And I'll tell you something here. If she goes down a little bit over a long time, you gotta figure that some of it's in here. I put a clamp on this thing and all that other stuff. So that's pretty much it. I feel like that's okay. I'm not a bars leaks kind of a dude, but sometimes, if you've got a little drippy, leaky, and you can't figure it out, you can't find it, you can't fix it or whatever, then sometimes you just resort to that. Okay, let's watch Okay, whoa, get out of here, fly. We're going to open this up now, and this will open us to atmosphere, and you'll see this hose right here reinflate. So we're still right at 10. Okay, so let's let her down now. And do all this easy. Don't just open the valve and see, that's going to come back to life. Get out of here. That's what you get when you don't have the fan on. So there you go. All right, so I feel good about that now. Okay, so that's what that tool there does. Noise alert, not too bad. I didn't really know about these things till a couple of years ago. And then I found that doing newer systems with this device is the cat's. I've done it several times on several newer cars, and I have had no issues with air bubbles or anything. So it's just like checking the air conditioning. Check for vacuum, let it sit. If it seems okay, it probably is. And then we could take this hose off, and I got to put all that stuff back in there again. And I'm kind of whistling around here thinking that maybe I might crank it. Now, what I'm going to do there is I'm going to pull the coil wire. And I usually pull it from the coil instead of from the distributor cap, because you don't want that spark arcing around everywhere. You'd rather just have that coil wire go somewhere else. And I'm going to spin her around with my remote device. Where's that thing? I think it's right here. Well, I can't believe I knew where that was. Okay, yeah. I've got this remote starter thing, and I am going to remote start it and see if I can get the dwell on the distributor points whilst I'm oiling the motor. Seems like a plan to me. And you might as well try to get that going before you do too much more. So she's going to be running a couple of revolutions, and hopefully we'll get that going. And I've got to find my tax well meter. Hey, I found it. Oh, I don't know what that was. Oh, those are rope seals. They might as well stay on the floor. So we're going to hook this up. So we're going to have to, I can't wait to clean up. I'll tell you the truth, I'm just really looking forward to it. So go around with your 5/16 and check all your hose clamps. Make sure you got your connector ones down here. This one, I got to tie one of these heater hoses back a little bit, and just make sure it doesn't get in the way of the fan or anything like that. All right, we'll find out soon enough, won't we? Oh, I got to move all the stuff from behind the car too. I don't want to shoot carbon and mess all over the Austin Healey original top, my motorcycle, nor my little tractor. So as always, it's more than you think it's going to be. It's time to add water, and that thing there's leaking. Can you believe that? I'll have to find some way to seal the bottom of it, but it's leaking out of the bottom. So I do like this thing. I hate to see it go away. I can do something from the inside. So let's take a look down there and make sure she's dry, and let's fill her up, I guess. There's a tool. That is not a funnel. That thing is great. I have secured the cooling lines. What is that? I have filled it with water. This is more or less just plain water. And we are near about ready to turn the key. This is going to be the first time I've touched the key and the starter in a very long time. Now we got to put that right there, because that's going to be used for setting the dwell. Now we have, what'd you do there? What did you do there? Okay. So I'm going to put this stuff here. I got my safety squints on. We're going to see about oil pressure. The coil wire is pulled. I have practiced getting to the dwell. I'm not going to worry about that right away. I just want to turn it and hear it turn over, and I want to see oil pressure. That's all we're going for here. Okay. Well, let me move all that stuff. I forgot all about that. I said it and then I didn't do it. So let me go do that. All right. Sorry about the misfire there, but one thing's leaking. That really makes me sad. I've had that so long. But I think I've got some Northern Tool stuff over there. Yeah, I did, because I showed it to Mick the other day. Okay. So I have the keys to I don't have the keys to the motorcycle. And I'm certainly not going to leave anything there. I'm pretty sure the gearbox is okay, but I just don't want any big mistakes happening. So she's holding water. And there's a little bit of water underneath it, but that's pay no attention to that. That was a little spillage. So here's something I haven't seen for a very long time. Is this area cleaned and swept out? And let's make sure the parking brake is on. We're not going to go for a ride, no matter what happens. Not today. And let's get all this out of the way. And I've got to tell you, I'm just going to feel better if I have... see, I don't know about the timing. I've got that vacuum. Let's see. I don't want that. I don't even remember what I'm going to do. Well, I do really remember what I was going to... There they are. Let's just get oil pressure and go from there. Now, remember that I have a vacuum meter here to mess with the timing when we get to that point. And so I've got the distributor a little bit loose. Let's take everything off there. Looks like the choke is off a little bit. Well, on a day like today, I guess it would be. There's no fuel in it. We're going to keep that the case right now. Put that right there. Let's just put this over here too. And isn't it time? The babies. Yes, it is time. So there's no fuel in her. We're going to turn the battery on. We're back on. Hope I hear some stuff happening. Okay, I don't. So it's 4 o'clock. I believe it's the 10th of July, 2021. So let's see what it's like in here. Yep, the radio's on. The gauges are on. And right now the primary one is that one. So let's make sure that that's on. Okay. And there's the brake light. Let's make sure that works. I just kind of for fun. Yep, see, I told you I had that working. Fuel gauge is, now the fuel pump's here. And I'm going to have to remember to run the air fuel mixture. And let's make sure the fan still works. My gauge here's working. Okay, let's go for oil pressure. Okay. There is oil pressure. Okay, there is oil pressure. Okay, so that's okay, because you got to remember you have lubrication in it too. Okay, so I'm going to turn everything off, and I guess I'll have to just sort of depend on the fact that I got to remember to put those seals back in. I'll remember that. Sounded like she wanted to bark there. but it's impossible because there's no fuel in it. So now step one is we have fuel pressure. Okay, I don't know what else to do right now other than just sort of go for it. That's not hitting there. And the belts didn't throw. She sounded like an old GM starting up. And I guess the only thing to do is just give her the fire. And I wanted to do that remote thing and check the dwell. So let's do that right now. I'm going to consider myself to be charmed here because I got my remote starter going. It's right here. I've got my dwell hooked up, coil wire out. You have to have the key on to get fire to it. And we're shooting for probably 30 to 32 because as the cams on the distributor lobe, let's not get that all down in there. So watch this. Right at 32 degrees. And so I can close that window. Let's turn everything off. We are ready to start here, it looks like, once I get the fuel going in it. And let's disconnect this. And I might go from beer right to brandy today. And because this is really heart-pounding stuff right here. So the other wire hooked up right there to the earth. So let's get this out of the way. I do believe I'm going to just start it from inside the car because that way I can turn it off. If you were wondering how to hook up a remote starter, you go to the small wire down here, and then you can go to any other positive post within reason, and then that gives you your remote start. And then what you do is you lace it up across every extra wire you can find. Okay, so there's that thing just paid for itself. Let's pump fuel into it and see what happens. So this is the first time I've used this pump. So let's just get fuel in it. And let's put this back in. And like I say, there is... now see, the cool thing about this funnel thing is, if you got a leak, you can just look at it there. Alright, so let's pump fuel into the old Edelrock and see if we got any leaks there. So we've got coolant. Let's check the oil real quick. And I got me some oil the other day, some non-detergent. Let's just take this out and check her. So we've got coolant, we've got oil, petrol is on the way. And don't spill any on anything. It says to add 1 quart. So, alright, well, we're going to add 1 quart. I do know that this thing does seem to take a little bit more than 5 quarts. So let's put a little bit of oil in it. And because oil is cooling also. We'll do that before we test the gas, okay? I'll do that. Be right back. We have added 1 quart of non-detergent oil. So I feel like that's good now. So we're going to turn the fuel pump on up here. Okay, we're not going to turn it on in the car. We're going to look and listen. So all we got to do is this right here. Okay, now everything's on except for the battery. So let's listen for the whir here. Do 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 da 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 da. I don't know. There it goes. I heard it. I can hear the bowls filling up. I adjusted this to 5.5 pounds. Okay, so let's see if she's squirting anything down in there. I don't think so. Well, that's not going to do good there, is it? That's going to have to move over that way. There you go, I hear it. I heard it. Oh, I smell it too. Okay, we have fuel. So it had to get into the accelerator pump and everything. So we are set to fire. Okay, let's just see how it goes. Here we go, gang. This is the moment, and I want to stay in here so I can turn it off if something goes wrong. So this is the moment. Okay. Now that okay, that wasn't much of a moment, but she did start, and my guess is that's timing. Now, I'm also not surprised that I hear some noise because I didn't get the exhaust manifolds real tight down there. I can smell it. Okay. All right, so let me see about tightening up those exhaust manifolds a little bit more now that we've kind of moved it around some. But she does start and run, and God, I wish I knew what the timing was like on it, but I just don't know. Okay, you want to know what happened? I'll tell you. Let me let her down gentle like. Oh, come on, baby. Well, it was an unusual situation. Boy, she sits low, don't she? Low rider. She cranked and she felt like she was in gear, and I couldn't figure out why. And because this has a neutral safety switch, which means it won't crank in gear. Well, that's not necessarily true. It depends on what your problem is. So the problem was I couldn't get the camera down there to show anybody. I don't know, if it matters. But if you got this kind of gearbox on the frame, there's a bracket with a spindle. It goes this way, and the shifter pivots off of that. Now, a long time ago when we first got this car, Mick was at the house one day, and we couldn't figure out why the shifter looked so chalky, and it was because that very bracket was loose. So when I was in here, I was changing the gears, and it didn't feel right. Now you got her. It just was all sloppy, and that's because the bracket, the spindle had come off from where I lowered the transmission from when I had the motor out. So, boy, I can't stand that empty gauge thing. I'm going to have to put something there, a smiley face or something. You can't see it, but that thing right there, I'm going to have to do something about that. Dash is off so we can do that. So, she was, so what happens is the neutral safety switch is just right above my finger in here, and it thinks it's in park, but actually the transmission is in a gear. And that's the reason, so when she cranked, she kind of was lungy a little bit and weird acting because she was under a load. So this is just one of them things you run into. So boy, that's just so much better. So I got her in park, got the parking brake on. Thank goodness I had that parking brake on because she did lunge. So I put some chocks in the back too. So let's try her again and see what I can do here. Wow, what a day. Okay, I've been to the back of the car, and I'll show you that bracket when I get her on the lift. So everything's on. Fuel pump here going. So hopefully she won't start under that load and she'll just go. Okay, Jesus. Whoa. I may need to, what's the oil pressure at? Oil pressure, well. Oil pressure at 60. I don't know what's happening out there. And I can't get out there to look at it because she's not, I don't want her to idle too fast. But let's just take a look and see. Oh, where's my screwdriver? It's over there. Let's just take a look and see what happened to all fluid gone, all water gone, and it's not down there. I don't see any oil leakage. All right, so see what I mean? You kind of need to be out here. So my guess is it filled up the heater. I'll tell you another little secret too. I took the thermostat out of it. I just didn't want any hot spots happening. Okay, so this is what you go through. Let me get my little screwdriver. My little test light screwdriver. This one here. And no big huge flumes of smoke anywhere. Don't let me forget to call Blue about this thing. So the choke's already pulling off. Okay, so I gave her just a little turn. I don't hear any squealing or anything like that. So let's see if she'll stay. There's nothing. Ooh, there's my voltage showing. Okay, okay. Let's try her again. Fuel, oil pressure. Come on, keep idling. Come on, baby. You might want to talk to me right at this point. This is a lot like Daphne. These old motors, let's just give her the beans here a little bit. Oh, she don't want to keep running. I don't know what that is. Oh, I do know what it is. You didn't turn the fuel pump on, you big dummy. Okay, well, I can't remember everything. Yeah, that'll help. She just doesn't want to idle. I'll tell you the truth. She's a whole new motor, but she's always been that way. There's no gushing or anything. Oil pressure staying up. It's 5:20 something. She starts and runs, but she just doesn't want to idle. I kind of like the way she's running. Alright, you got to remember to do that. Sheesh, big crazy guy. There's a lot to remember here, folks. So the choke is off, and Lord knows the water is already, I'm going to just turn her up a little bit. She was smoky. Of course she would be smoky. So that's the first time she's run. Well, let's get rid of that. Okay, well, she should be smoking for all that oil. So I feel like the timing, God, I need to get the camera out here and look at that gauge. So let's get rid of this junk. That's messy. And I don't know if y'all know how to do this, but yeah, she apparently coughed up a bunch of junk there. Oh, so I'm not going to deal with that. Okay, it might be edit time. do. Okay. Well, that just gets a little bit of dirt out of it, but we're going to be going for the gusto here. Now, she's getting hot mighty fast, I can tell you that, because I can feel the water here that's already kind of warmish. So, let's see. I turned up the idle a little bit. If I could just get her to idle, I would be happy. Do I want to mess with the timing? I don't think so. Fuel pump on. Come on, baby, idle. Plenty of oil pressure. I don't see the water temperature going up. £65. I've been jacking on the idle, but she just don't want to do it. Let's just turn the idle up, and then, oh boy, I think when I get the idle, all right, okay, let's just give her a little bit more. Okay. The choke is completely off. That would be about right in this temperature. I think it's about 90 degrees. So I see that the accelerator pump is working, and obviously it is, because when you hit the gas, she goes. Come on. Ooh. Well, let's give her a little bit of that way and see if that helps. Just give her a couple of degrees and see if she wants to idle at that. Okay? Yeah. Yes, she does. So that's not doing too good. Okay, I don't mind that. Let's just take this down. So that was not good. That vacuum wasn't good. So we're going to cock it back that way a little bit. Now, as we all know, these things should be a little hard to start. Now that would be what I just did, would be advancing it. I know, I can't do much about it. She don't like that. I'm telling you that right now. Alright. She's been running about 15 minutes. Seems to be doing just fine. Very smooth. That's not exactly right, but it could be because I'm so far down the line, I don't know. If I mess with it either way, she doesn't like it. There's all the gunk coming out of the cooling system. The transmission fluid is low. I got the fan going. She's charging. She's got 60 pounds at idle. She's at 180. I'm not getting the air-fuel mixture thing. She's a little smoky. I'm expecting that when she's breaking in. It's less now than it was. So I'm getting a bunch of carbon. There's a lot of unhappy spiders and whatnot. So I'm not going to let this go on much more. But I am trying to see how smooth it is. mean, that's very smooth. So I'm got to get those rings to seat, and we'll do that. All right, I think I'm going to. I don't really want to put detergent oil in it until that smoking stops. I need to get her over on the lift. So all of this is good. Everything seems to be just fine. See, when you rev it up, it goes to normal on this. So it's just, yes, less smoke now than it was a minute ago. So I think I'm going to, oh, get out of here. I got my electric fan going, 180. I can't put her in gear because she's low on fluid. Listen to that. I mean, it's just great. I'm going to give it no more time. I think that's enough. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Da 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 da. Oh, that's how elementary starts and runs. And I'm gonna check this oil and see what it looks like later. I believe that is going to be. Let's do that so when I go in and make this thing, I can look at the filth coming out of there. What's happening down here? Looks like nothing. Well, that's what you want to be happening down there. That's enough for me. Ladies and gentlemen, I gotta tell you, I haven't been well today. I had an unhappy night because I had to eat out at a truck stop, and I usually don't fare well with that, but I'm going to tell you right now, that's going to taste good. Not a sponsor. If you want to sponsor me. Well, let me let everybody know. Everybody's been waiting, and let's just let her cool down, and that'll be it. Well, that'll be it for today. Give me a thumbs up, like, subscribe, share, and all that other stuff. This is going to be a mighty chalky one because I had so many problems, but it all worked out. I'm so glad to see the choke pulling off. Let's just set this on top of it, and that will remind me that I want to, I might just go ahead and put this thing on. Let's just go ahead and put this one on for a while we break it in, so I don't suck a mongoose in there. The groundhog comes up and decides to live in it. So everything's sort of cooking off. Yuck. See, that's another great thing about this funnel thing is if oil goes through it or something like that, or I don't think that's oil. I just think that's dirt. It doesn't have a sheen about it. It's just dirty water. Okay, well we'll give her another 20 minutes tomorrow, and then man, am I ever beat? I mean, it's not tired from doing anything physical. It's just the mental gymnastics and of wondering why it went into gear when it cranked it and everything. So anyway, that'll be it for today. Thanks for watching and sharing some time with me. And hopefully I'll clean the windscreen, get her on the lift, and we'll take her for a test drive a little later, okay? But I gotta put some transmission fluid right there. Remind me to put that in too. Okay, bye-bye, guys. Thanks again.